Spirit of Texas Bank, Nissan, Slovacek Sausage, and Germania Insurance bring you this clip of the Texas Bucket List. Howdy, and welcome to the Texas Bucket List, the show dedicated to everything there is to see, do, and experience right here in the Lone Star State. My name is Shane McAuliffe, and this week we start off in the Panhandle at a steakhouse you've probably heard of before. We head to Amarillo, to the Big Texan, to see if we can sink our teeth into the big 72-ounce steak and maybe get it for free. Up in Amarillo, you'll find a fittingly yellow building that doesn't need much explaining. Chances are, once you see the huge cow, a 95-foot-tall Texan, and a sign spouting off about a 4.5-pound steak, you'll know you're at the Big Texan.
Alrighty, Big Texan, let me get
My first recollection of the Big Texan at 3 years old was the big cowboy sign.
Bobby Lee is one of the owners of the Big Texan Steak Ranch. Along with his brother Danny, the duo continues to serve up steaks like their dad, Bob Lee, did when he opened the Big Texan back in 1960 on the world-famous Route 66.
My dad was a Yankee from Chicago, and he didn't really understand cowboys or Texas, but when he came to Texas, he wanted to see cowboys. He wanted to see where they ate steak at, because it was a perception. If you go to Hawaii, you want to see girls in grass skirts.
So Bob built the Big Texan, and 54 years later, it continues to impress out-of-towners with their Texas-sized steaks and Lone Star State mission.
Show the world what Texas is all about.
The Big Texan moved over to the main lanes of Interstate 40 when the highway was built in 1970. Now, with a gift shop, shooting range, outdoor maze, hotel, restaurant, and a brewery all in one location, the Big Texan is now a stockyard for those starving for Texan traditions.
We have a huge responsibility to keep the tradition going, to keep the magic of the Big Texan going, and provide the best food and the best service we can for the people.
With steaks in the starring role, these sizzling cuts of Texas beef are the main reason people come to chow down. But for the buckaroos who think their boots and bellies are bigger than the rest, well, that's where the big 72-ounce steak comes into sight. It's a Texas-sized challenge that got started by Bobby Lee's dad when the Big Texan first opened.
One Friday he said, we're going to put $1 into my cowboy hat, and everybody sitting at the table, we're going to start serving 1-pound steaks. And at the end of that 1 hour, we're going to see who's eating the most. And at the end of that 1 hour, one cowboy had eaten 4.5 1-pound steaks, which was 72 ounces. He also showed off by eating a baked potato, shrimp cocktail, rolled butter, and a tossed salad. And 1 hour later, my dad said, anybody that can eat 4.5 pounds of steak in this meal gets it for free. And in 1961, it was born. And that's when the place started soaring.
So who's crazy enough to try eating 4.5 pounds of meat? About 4 people a day, and only 1 in 7 is successful.
Where else in the world are you going to find something like this?
I'm not terribly confident, but I'm here. I might as well try.
I threw up in the garbage, actually.
Oh, my wife's gonna kill me.
Oh yeah, the odds may be against me, but I went there. More on that in a bit. First, we head to the kitchen to see how this behemoth bit of beef is prepared.
The key is to have a good piece of meat first.
Adam Klein has been the kitchen manager at the Big Texan for 8 years, and he gets things started with a huge cut of certified Angus beef.
Make sure you get all your top fat layer off.
The raw meat is cut down to size, and with every slice, you're praising the fact it's less to eat.
All right, now then, we'll get down to the nitty-gritty.
It doesn't take long to reach its prolific proportion.
The whole important part right here, 4.5 pounds is what we're looking for. 4.5 pounds.
Have you ever tried 72-ounce steak personally?
No, I haven't. Not personally.
Why
No.
not?
I've seen too many people fall to it.
Biggest problem people have is they get nervous when they get up there, they psych themselves out, and they don't enjoy the steak.
Maybe on the bucket list, but it's not for the faint of heart.
Before having a breakdown, I got some advice on how to take the big 72-ounce steak down, and it wasn't just with a grain of salt.
I said, make sure you tell the server, medium rare, you want real true medium rare, and don't be afraid to order a couple more salad or a little more salad dressing.
A little bit more?
Yeah, and we make our salad dressings here, so we use a heavy mayonnaise, which helps keep you lubed. You need it after a while. You start getting real dry on that steak.
Okay.
You'll see what I'm talking about.
All right.
And a little glass of Burgundy before you eat is always good too.
I'm done with that.
As for the rules, they're simple. Eat all of this food in an hour, and
Should you become sick, the contest is over with.
Big Mike, get ready on your big 72.
It's all for you, Texas.
sure you guys don't just have a burger? That's when I realized just what I got myself into.
Give me a 3 count. I can start on this timer right here, okay?
All right.
3, 2, 1, go.
Here we are. All righty, Big Texan, let me get your attention on stage, please. And Mr. Shea, all the way from College Station. He says he has a Big Texan-sized appetite. He has eaten 4.5 pounds of top sirloin steak.
That's a lot of meat.
3 fried shrimp, a roll, a baked potato, and a salad, folks. He has 1 hour to do it, so let's cheer him on.
And my first realization?
Everybody's gonna watch for the whole hour.
After just 20 minutes, I was tearing through the Big Texan steak and already had half of it down. Surprisingly, I was still cheery too.
It's actually really good. Really good.
Then it hit me.
They say at 20 minutes you start feeling that wall. You feel a wall.
We never second guess anybody till about 20 minutes into the contest. Then we can tell by that shade of green and the sweat on their forehead that contest is fixing to be over with.
Despite my inner voice telling me to quit,
When you come to the Big Texan, bring $72.
and killing time,
Your jaw definitely gets tired.
Just undo the belt buckle, and it'll give you more room.
Once you get down to it, man, it's the same taste for 72 ounces. Howdy, how are you doing? Good. You next, right?
the crowd started to cheer me on, and it was back on.
This is fourth quarter stuff right here. Don't let freaking Jerry Jones get in your head.
With 18 seconds to spare, I became the 9,173rd person to finish a 72-ounce steak at the Big Texan.
Let's give him a round of applause for an awesome job. First impressions?
Wow. We want them to do it because if they win, I did the 72-ounce steak all over the country. You know, if they don't win, they're not going to brag about that. So we'd like more winners. 1 out of every 6 isn't enough yet.
Try it once. Oh, sorry.
We crossed it off the bucket list. Whew, we might be kicking it sooner than I thought, though.
Wow, you may have eaten all sorts of stuff all your life, but you're never going to be able to sit down to a 4.5 pound steak in front of you and say, hey, I tried this, you know?
This was a dumb idea. But I can say I did it.